My favorite fighting game of all time is Smash Brothers. And most of it is because I have a lot of nostalgia for the Nintendo characters. But another reason that I like that game so much is because it kind of leveled the playing field when it came to inputs. You didn't have to do these very complicated inputs to do your special moves. It was essentially hold a button and push a direction, and that's going to fire off your special moves. I can appreciate that Street Fighter and fighting games in general, there's a good place for those super complicated moves, but it's the reason why I stopped being interested in those types of fighting games. So I was really excited when Capcom announced that they were going to bring in what they call modern controls, which were a lot more like Smash Brothers. But they're not enough like Smash Brothers for me. So in this video, I want to show you how to take your Steam Deck and Street Fighter 6 and set it up so that it feels even more like Smash Brothers. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you for the community member who sent me a copy of Street Fighter 6. You're awesome and you know who you are. All right, let's get into it. All right, the way the modern controls work in Street Fighter 6 is basically you have your main three attacks on X, A, and B. But if you want to fire off your special attacks, you would press Y to do a fireball, forward and Y to do an uppercut, and back and Y to do a spinning kick. And this is for Ryu. Now, I want to set it up so it's more like Smash Brothers, where I can do all of that stuff, or I can also use the right joystick in order to just kind of flick that around to do my special moves. So I'm going to hit the Steam button. I'm going to go down to Controller Settings. Under Edit Layout, we'll go all the way down to Joysticks. And the first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of right stick click because I don't need that for anything. You could also set that to be your Y and B buttons, but I don't really like the way that feels. I'll show you what to do with Y and B in just a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this gear icon. Under the gear icon, I'm going to come down to General. I'm going to set the stick response curve to aggressive so it fires off those attacks even faster. And then under Output, I'm going to tell it to be the left joystick instead of the right joystick. So now this joystick pretends to be the left joystick. So if I go back in here, you can see that I'm moving around. Next, I'm going to go back into my joystick settings. And I'm going to, I'm going to go back into my joystick settings and I'm going to adjust my dead zone. It happens all the time. Okay. Under my dead zones, I'm going to switch it from a default dead zone to a custom dead zone. And then I'm going to change the dead zone shape to a cross. Then I'm going to increase the minimum threshold. I'll set that to like 20, I guess, and I'll leave the other one alone. Then I'm going to come down here and lower my outer ring to, I don't know, something like 10,000 or something. If you want to put in a specific number, you could just tap on that and type it in. So 10, I can't see what I'm doing. There's 10,000. You can dial that in however it is that you like. And then you can set haptics if you want. I don't really want haptics on this, so we'll leave that alone. I'm going to back out to my joysticks, and then I'm going to come down here to my right joystick and set an outer ring command to Y. So this means any direction that I push is going to push that direction and press Y at the same time. Let's go ahead and test it out. So now if I want to just do a regular attack, I could just press Y, but if I want to do my forward attack, whoops, I messed that up. Yeah, there we go. If I want to do my rising uppercut, I could just push forward on my joystick. And if I want to do my back attack, which is the spinny kicks, that works as well. So now that I've got that set up, you're probably wondering, how do I do my special moves down here, which is this little flashing 3? Well, all I'm going to do is go into my buttons, and I'm going to set my back grip. I'll set that to be R5, okay? So I'll hit Add Command. I'm going to come down here, have it be Y. Then I'm going to go to the gear. I'm going to come down to Sub Command and set that to B. So now, if I want to use, I shouldn't have backed all the way out. If I want to use that ability, instead of pressing Y and B, I'll just click in this button right there, and it's going to fire off my YB button. Now, if I want to do like up in that I can do that, or down in that. There we go. That's what I meant to do. If I want to do down in that button, it fires off. Or if I just want to do just a regular Y and B, I can just press that Y and B button without actually having to hit 2 buttons at the same time. This fires off that. If you want to do a grab, which is X and A at the same time, which I actually don't find that one too as hard to hit as Y and B, but you can do the same thing on your edit layout. I'm going to go down to buttons, and under buttons, I'm going to set the, let's see, that was R5, so I'm going to do R4. I just prefer the R4 and R5 buttons. You can use whichever ones you want. Set that to X, do a subcommand, set that to A, and now I'll back out, and I can either grab like that, or I can just click in with my middle finger right there, and it's going to do a grab. So now I don't have to hit multiple buttons at the same time, and it actually makes it a lot easier for me to fight and do the inputs that I want when I want. And I really, really like this as a control setup. It feels a lot more like Smash, which is my favorite fighting game of all time. So that's how you set that up. Let me know what you all think, and if you enjoyed this video, you will probably enjoy this video right here. From the Nerd Nest, I'm Bill. Stay rad, everybody.